Under the lights, speaking of facts, double the price, yeah. Under the lights, we covering sports, whatever you like, yeah. Home runs in the park, touchdowns in the end zone. Knockouts in the ring, buzzer beater for the win, go hard or go home. Find out who you are when you under the lights. That pressure made a star, right there. Under the lights, you looking for the best, tune in to Under the Lights. Yeah, under the lights.
Yeah. Welcome back to Under the Lights. I'm your host, Big Mike, and as you can see, I got a special guest with me today. But before I introduce him, let me let the viewers know, hit that like and subscribe button so you can be up to date with all things Under the Lights. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at __ Under the Lights. So, as I mentioned, as you can see, I got a special guest with me today, and who you're looking at right now is the Tennessee Titans reporter from the ESPN's NFL Nation, a graduate from Cheney University with a degree in marketing. He has credentialed media coverage of the San Francisco 49ers, the Baltimore Ravens, the Philadelphia Eagles, various NFL events, including the Reese's Senior Bowl, the NFL Scouting Combine, the NFL Draft, and the NFLPA Rookie Premiere. Also a member of the Pro Football Writers Association. He's the author of the book titled A Team Makes a Miracle. This book is about Doug Peterson and the Philadelphia Eagles' journey to the Super Bowl and was released in 2018. He's a former featured columnist for the University of Maryland, former featured columnist, lead NFL editor at NGSC Sports, the former director of marketing and client services for 2010 Sports, co-founder and co-host of Niner Talk Central Radio and the Pro Football Central Radio Network, founder of the Pro Football Central Draft Series, which interviewed all of the top draft picks in the 2014 NFL Draft. Co-host of Michael Clayton, who used to play for the New York Giants on the Beat the Press podcast, and also was the chief provider of the NFL content for the Hype magazine. Who you're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Turron Davenport. What's going on, man? How you doing today, dog? Appreciate you for coming on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. That was a lot, man. Some of that stuff I forgot.
Yeah, so,
hey,
that's that when
you dug in the creeks, man.
When you doing great things, man, you know what I mean. You throw away the rear view, you keep on moving forward, baby. You feel what I'm saying? How you doing today, though, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. You know, I woke up this morning, so you already know that was a W. So
it's always a blessing.
The day's been going well, man. How about you?
Man, I'm doing good, man. You know, Granny passed this morning. You know what I'm saying? But everything good. You know what I'm saying? She outlived all her boys, which is my daddy, uncles, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Outlived her husband. She was 92. So, you know, we got a funeral coming up and everything, man. But the family's good. You know what I mean? We'll be all right. Everything's straight, man.
Yeah, my condolences for sure.
Appreciate that, man. So, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it, man. So, when I was looking at your profile or whatever, right, there's a quote on there. And it says, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Okay, and that's a quote by Wayne Gretzky. Is that what you live by?
Yes, absolutely, man. You're not gonna make it if you don't take it. So that's one of the many things that I live by for sure.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I live the same way. You know what I mean? I'm always shooting my shot. Like when I told you, you know what I mean? Look, I'm always shooting my shot, seeing if I can get people, new faces on the show so I can expand the show and things like that. So if I brick, oh well, I'm going to keep on shooting. You feel me? So, hey, I appreciate you for coming on, dog. You didn't have to, but I appreciate you for coming on, being so down to earth. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So you've been around the NFL, media coverage, and you know, reporting and things like that. Is that something that you always wanted to do?
No, it isn't, actually. It's I always wanted to play.
Okay.
It just wasn't good enough, you know. So
found
a way to still be involved with the league and still get into the, you know, the mix, and that way was journalism. So it's just a part of the evolution, you know, of still having that dream to be involved with football and finding a way.
Right. What position did you play?
I played receiver. Yeah.
Okay. What's your style? Was you physical? Was you fast? Was you what possession receiver? Over the top? What was you?
Yeah, well, a lot of my teammates said my game reminded them of Antonio Freeman. So if you remember how he was.
For the Packers, you know, 86.
Yeah, working the middle of the field, you know, every once in a while, you know, run that post and those things, but mostly like a possession type that move the chains and do all the dirty work. That was my thing. Catch everything that come your way.
That's what I was about to say. Was them hands nice though?
Oh yeah, no, the hands were nice, man. Definitely. My teammates, they used to call me Lucky Hands because my first collegiate touchdown was a tip pass.
Okay.
And my first catch period in college was a tip pass. So
for a touchdown.
What's up?
For a touchdown?
Yeah, so my first collegiate catch was a tip pass. I caught that, and then later in that season, my first touchdown was a tip pass as well. So
got you.
That year, that was 96. They started calling me Lucky Hands.
Okay, so 96. Okay, so that's when they was knocking boys across like the middle of the field, hitting boys bad. You know what I mean? They wasn't.
Oh yeah, the game was physical. The game was physical, and I loved it. I loved it. So
okay, so because I was just getting ready to ask you, being that you came up in that time and you see how the game is now, what they want you to do now is let them, hey, catch it, turn around, you good? I'm about to hit you, okay? And I'm going to tackle you. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go, and then make the tackle.
Yeah.
A defenseless receiver. Yeah. What? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go ahead. How you feel about that?
Back then, there wasn't any of that. It's I'm gonna knock your block off if you come across the middle, Right. And we used to get our revenge. We'd get our revenge. I remember we used to always run toss crack, and I would line up on the outside and motion to kind of like the detached slot position.
Yeah.
And it was a counter, and the running back would take that step this way and go this way, and the linebacker will go with that step.
Yep.
And by the time he realized the play's going that way,
oh my God.
Yeah, able to clean him up. That's how you get your revenge.
Yeah, that's some of the worst ones I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Is when like you said, when you're in motion, but instead of hitting the linebacker, you hit that D end, and he don't even know it's coming, knock his block off.
Yeah.
You feel me? I've seen plenty of that. You feel me? But you said so journalism. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, so I'm gonna tell you something. Like my freshman year of high school, you know what I'm saying? We had a project in school. You know what I'm saying? And the project was to do a little booklet, and you had to type out what you wanted to be when you got out of college or when you got older or whatever the case may be. And you couldn't choose professional athlete and you couldn't choose rapper. You know what I'm saying? It was easy for me. You know what I mean? I picked sports broadcasting. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always talking sports. But then I knew, you had my mom was like, you got to go into journalism and things like that back then. Now you ain't got to do that. You can, get a following on social media and boom, you out there. You see what I'm saying? It ain't necessarily like that no more. But she said, you got to go to journalism school and blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of reading, a lot of writing. And that kind of was like, ooh, I'm 14 at the time. So I'm like, a lot of reading, a whole lot of writing. And I'm thinking it's like I got to write books and papers and stuff every day. You know what I mean? So I really didn't pursue it like that. But as much sports as I taught, as much every day at the gym, at work, or whatever the case may be, I'm doing it anyway. So that's why I'm doing the podcast, whatever the case may be, because I love to talk sports. That's why I was asking you, is this what you do, like reporting and media coverage? Is this something that you always wanted to do? Because I know that's something that I always wanted to get in. But the life that you have now, reporting and media coverage and things like that, take me through the daily life, of Turron Davenport. What the daily life is like as reporting, whether it's you reporting game, practice, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? The combine, what's that life like?
Yeah, it's a lot different during the season than it is now, like during the off season. But I mean, the typical season is, you get to the facility. I usually get there around 10:30, and you have press conferences starting usually about 11:30. You have the press conference, and then you have just a little bit of downtime in case you want to write something off the press conference, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then you have practice. And during the season, we get the first 20 minutes of practice. You have that, and then you wait the other hour and a half for practice to be over, and then you go back and you have post-practice press conference and then open locker room. And that's pretty much how it is now. For me, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I cycle in radio. So I go straight from the locker room to the radio studio and do my show, Talking with TD. Mm-hmm. And then on Thursdays, I have an hour of radio that I just shoot back. Sometimes it's at Bridgestone Arena where the Predators play, so shoot over there. And we record an hour of radio. And then after that, I go from there to the TV studio and record the Saturday TV studio hits. So that's pretty much the day. you right in between, and obviously no day is the same. So that's just kind of like the skeleton of it. Now during the off season, it varies. You have your events. Like I just got done. Actually, when you reached out to me, I was at the Senior Bowl when you reached out to me.
Okay.
So I had the Shrine Week. Flew down to Dallas, and then was in the Denton, Plano, Frisco area doing the Shrine. Did that for 3 days, flew back here, and then the next day flew to Mobile, Alabama, did the Senior Bowl for 3 days. So it's just a bunch of talking shop, mingling, exchanging notes, and talking with different people, and that's more or less the day. When you don't have the events, it's just kind of, you got to schedule it out. I'm actually taking a little bit of downtime just to kind of refresh. Yeah. But you schedule it out. There's a lot of film to be studied, so I'm going to map that out where, I'll break it down by position. Quarterback is a part of the mix this year, so got to start there. So we'll get that done. Look at the all-22 and then work all the way over to cornerbacks,
So you watch
every
film
position on the field.
So you got to watch film.
Oh yeah. You gotta. I don't think you could talk about a prospect adequately unless you know his game and you watch him. I'm not one of the reporters that are just say, hey, Mel Kiper says this. No, I feel I can watch the game on the same level, if not a higher level, than Mel Kiper because I played the game before.
Right.
So that's just my take.
Do they give you, so when they say, hey, Turron, this is the guy I want you to look at, do they give you certain guys to look at, or is it just you go there and you just, the top guy that you see, the best guy that's getting the most coverage, is that who you go for?
No, it's not assigned or anything like that. It's all self started. And I have a catalog of film. I mean, I got, you name it, I got it. Me at football, like, or SWAC. Let's say you want to see Shador back when he was with Jackson State. I have that film, all 22. You want offense, I got offense, defense, special teams. So it's just having that catalog and just working through it. Now, what I'll probably do for the most part is watch this year, unless there's a player that I want to dive in a little bit deeper on. But I try to go about 10 deep at each position and make sure that I have a good working knowledge of all the positions. And this way, when you're on the shows and doing the different things, you speak from knowledge, you speak from your own eyes, not something that someone else saw. And I think that's something that happens too much in this industry where you got too much, so-and-so said he's not a good player, so I don't think he's a good player. Yes. I don't do that.
Let me tell you something. I was a guy, like before I was doing the podcast, I never missed the Undisputed Show with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Shannon Sharp. I grew up watching Shannon Sharp. I always liked Shannon Sharp for some reason. You know what I'm saying? I like Shannon Sharp. You feel me? So when he was on the show, I never missed an episode. You know what I mean? I used to watch ESPN First Take. But when I started this, you know what I'm saying? Before my show, I'm not watching it. I don't want to know what they got to say. I want my own take. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I told my guys, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, don't send me, they send you take. Look, don't send me no takes, bro. I don't care what they say. I know I ain't famous yet. This show is not worldwide known yet. But I said, at the end of the day, I feel like I copied, even if I already got it written down. You feel what I'm saying? When I'm watching the game, I got my 3 TVs up. The one that's already up here, I got a TV that's in the garage. I bring my table in here, set it on there, and I bring the TV from my sunroom, put it under there. I'm watching Sunday Ticket. I got 9 games on at once. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm trying to keep an eye on everything. And you see this right here? This is on my lap every Sunday. You know what I mean? So I tell people, I was like, I don't watch the game no more as a fan no more. I got to watch the game to know what happened, break it down, and come out here and talk about it. You know what I mean? So I take this stuff serious. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. So I don't care what who said. I don't care because because they on TV, that don't mean that they saying something that's right or they got a great take. It's some fools on TV, and I know you know that. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, so you've been around the draft, NFL draft combine or whatever. You know what I mean? Do you get insight, you know what I mean, with the Titans on who y'all going to get next? Is it like that? Do they let you know, this is the guy who we're looking at?
You begin to get an idea of prospects that they like from the conversations. And I would say probably four of the picks last year, I had a good idea. Hey, that's where they're going. Cedric Gray in the fourth round, T'Vondre Sweat in the second.
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Latham, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. was the other one. That was the other one. So, those ones I had an idea that that's who they were going to get. So, to answer your question, yes, just in conversation. Rarely do you get it hey, we're going to take so-and-so here. But you put the puzzles together and you kind of see.
Okay. So who are they looking at this year? Who do you know? Do you know what they talking about?
It's early. It's early. Okay. I know they just got done meeting with Shedeur Sanders down there at the Shrine. I was outside of the room when they came out and talked to each of them, and they were very impressed there. But it's the start. So they still haven't gotten to meet with Travis Hunter, with Abdul Carter, with Cam Ward. Right now, it's kind of a 4-man race for the number one pick.
Right.
But then you also have the factor in of a possible trade back.
Right.
So no, they don't know. Anyone who tells you that they're leaning towards this or that right now is just basically lying, because it's too early to have any direction, so to speak.
Okay, so does it deter the Tennessee Titans organization? Because I know they look at social media too. They do. Yeah, that social media is the way of the world. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Does it deter the Tennessee Titans organization when they hear Coach Prime say, "Oh, it's certain places we ain't gonna go. Oh, we ain't going to these type of places." Does it deter them, or they don't even care about what he's talking about?
No, they don't care. Actually, they had an interview with Shedeur, and Prime called, FaceTimed, and they say, "Hey, pick it up." And they're not an organization or a destination that Deion doesn't want his son to go to. So, no, they're not concerned about that. Now, if it's the Cleveland Browns, on the other hand, they have some things to be worried about. But they're getting ready to trade Myles Garrett, so they're probably going to go the direction of Abdul Carter, so that's more or less set up for them.
Howie Roseman, before I continue, Howie Roseman for the Philadelphia Eagles. Myles Garrett is out there. Myles Garrett did an interview before and said, one day I might play for the Philadelphia Eagles. Myles Garrett, he fits the Philadelphia Eagles culture. Okay? Rough and rugged and tough. He fit that. Howie, you know what to do. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So sticking with the Titans, man, what's your view on the Titans, with Will Levis and with the quarterback situation right now? Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it neutral? Are they headed in the right direction, or is it just like they don't know?
I don't think they know. Will Levis, he had a chance to prove himself and take hold of the franchise job. He didn't do it last year. A lot of frustrating play. I know he had the coaches, ready to go nuts with some of his bad mistakes and things like that.
Man.
So right now, that's why they're so deep into going and taking a lot of time to look at these quarterbacks. Even Jackson Dart. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not a big fan of Jackson Dart, but he's another one that they're looking at because they have to.
Right.
Their quarterback situation is unproven.
Right.
And you got veterans. Whether if Aaron Rodgers shakes free, I can see that as an option. Sam Darnold is a guy that they're looking at as a possibility. Now, I don't agree with the Sam Darnold thing, especially at the price he's going to warrant. But hey, good thing is I get paid regardless of whether they win or lose. So that's a luxury.
So you don't like Sam Darnold?
No, I'm not a big fan of Sam Darnold. He had an outstanding year without a doubt. But
okay.
I think what separates the quarterbacks is how they elevate when all the chips are on the table. And we saw what happened in the playoff game, and we saw what happened in the Lions game before that.
Yes.
And that to me was just kind of a leopard. Not changing this spot. Sam Darnold is who he is, man. And
right.
I wouldn't trust him to lead my organization deep in the playoffs.
Right. I think a team first of all, do you think Minnesota's going to pay him? Because, they got J.J. McCarthy behind him, but it's like J.J. McCarthy, to me, in my eyes, bro, I don't think you was really that guy at Michigan to me. They had that run game. They had Blake Corum breaking records and all of that. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think after seeing Sam Darnold right now, I mean, with this season, a full season with the Minnesota Vikings, whether he can replicate that or not, I don't think J.J. McCarthy's going to be able to do half as good as that, if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, you talk about the run game. I mean, this is the same quarterback who was in place when Michigan decided to go shoot a shoe and run the football 32 times in the second half. You know what I mean? So if the quarterback is really like that, you're not really, especially when you have a former quarterback as the coach, you're probably not going to see that happen too much. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see what they end up doing. I know he had to have another procedure back in, I want to say November or so, to shore up the knee and everything. So we'll see what happens there. I'm surprised that Sam Darnold did what he did, and I think they are too, but it's a good problem for them to have.
Right. I think y'all should get Shador. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the way to go because, man, listen, just for me, the QB situation, I mean, obviously, you closer to everybody than I am. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the QB situation in Tennessee, if you ain't got a QB situation that's up to par, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be doing too much. You don't have 2,000 Ravens defense out here. And even if you did, he's not doing what Trent Dilfer was doing. This Will Levis is turning the ball. He's doing underhand throws. I mean, just throwing it in the ocean. You feel what I'm saying? It's like I don't think he has that it factor, bro. I don't think he's got the elevate player in him. I don't think the players on the team believe in Will Levis. I don't think the organization believes in Will Levis. You feel what I'm saying? My guy Buster, when I told him coming out, I said, "You think you like Will Levis?" He said, "Yeah, he is. He did." I said, "No, he not, bro. Yeah, he is." And after rookie season, he's like, "You got to give him another year, rookie, bro." I said, "Because he a real Titans fan from back when Chris Johnson was there. He doing all this and everything. You know what I'm saying? So he really a Titans fan." And I said, "Bro, Will Levis is not that." He went down my throat with it. So after this season, I asked him again. I said, "Hey, bro, you willing to get that up?" He's like, "Yeah, bro. Yeah, he ain't that, bro. I'm sorry." I was like, okay.
It's all here for him. It's here. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing. And that's one of the things I remember talking to Brian Callahan, and he said, there's just a disconnect, right? It goes from the classroom to the practice field but getting it to go from the practice field to the game day is just not happening. Okay. And that's where the disconnect is. So, yeah, I mean, look, Will Levis, he showed some promise his rookie year, but last year, it was not a good look. He's going to be working with Jordan Palmer this offseason, so maybe that'll help him some. But, again, it's all here.
Yeah.
It's here. So I'm not sure what that Jordan Palmer work would do for the mental side of it.
Because he got the talent. You know what I'm saying? He got the talent. He got the arm strength. He can do, but it's decision-making all up here, man. You know what I mean? So, okay. You brought up Brian Callahan. You around the organization and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Do the fans think they should have kept Mike Vrabel?
They do. They do. And it's funny because the recency bias that people have, because a lot of these same fans that are pounding the table for Mike Vrabel were the same ones saying, "Hey, fire him." They need to move on. You got to remember, this team was really bad in 2023.
Yeah. Right.
They were really bad. And then also remember 2022, they lost the last 7 games and tumbled out of the playoffs. So it wasn't a good end. I think Mike Vrabel was a good coach, but there's always going to be, it's just like the backup quarterback. Everybody always wants the backup quarterback. Well, everybody always wants the ex-coach too.
Right. Well, hopefully, man, they can get back because I'm telling you right now, my guy Buster, he was high on him, bro. I mean, he bet me $100 last year that the Titans were going to win the AFC South.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, I'm saying he was high on the Tennessee Titans. You feel me? He had to come up off that. You know what I'm saying? I need that. I don't feel bad for you. I told you, stop being so emotional. I told you this. You feel what I'm saying? All right, so do you get to go, you know what I mean, after the games and things like that? Are you in the locker rooms and next to the players and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, no, that's part of the job, being there in the locker room.
So have you ever had any incidents with players as far as like, they might be mad after the game, or you might ask a question sometime that they don't particularly like? You feel what I mean? They get an attitude and want to take it out on you. Have you ever had any incidents?
No, I haven't. I think that's a part of just the respect level. You have to establish that you're a man too. You know what I mean? And that's something that there's a mutual respect between myself and the players. And within that mutual respect is me wording things correctly.
Right.
Like you won't see me ask a jerk question in a jerk manner.
Yeah.
There are times I ask some tough questions, but I always word it the right way. So that way the message is understood, where it's like, yo, bro, I'm not trying to be critical of you and make you look silly. I'm just trying to understand, okay, what happened here? And I think that's just, again, a level of respect between the reporter and the athlete.
What's the biggest athlete that you've covered, that you've interviewed? Who's the biggest one?
We've had Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice.
Goat on goat.
Tom Brady.
Yikes.
I mean, those are the ones that come into thought right away. But yeah.
Down to earth. I know Prime is down to earth. We see him all the time. Is Brady, you know what I mean? He down to earth. He cool.
You know, Brady is actually really cool. And I remember I first spoke to him at Super Bowl 2015.
Okay.
And my question, I was asking him about spacing and timing in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looked at me like, because it was a good question, something he wanted to talk about, but he wasn't expecting that depth of a question. And I just thought it was really cool how he looked and he acknowledged the question and he smiled and he's like, and then he answered it. So yeah, he's very down to earth, very cool. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Brady, man.
Jerry Rice the same. Jerry Rice, that's my favorite quarterback ever. You feel me? Jerry Rice the same.
Yeah. I can't say the same about Jerry Rice.
Something told me, TD.
I can't say the same. He's arrogant. In the interview, it was cool, but just some of the way he was before and after, he has that superiority type of feeling.
Yeah.
And, end of the day, like, I put pants on just like you do. You know, you're not here and I'm here, But he didn't seem to understand it those times.
Man, something told me before, man, that I'm being dead serious, that Jerry Rice was an arrogant guy. Great athlete, great football player, arrogant guy. And like what kind of put the icing on the cake a little bit. I know I don't know, you just may be a little far fetched, but when he came, you know what I mean, it was the Eagles versus the Niners. You know what I mean? He coming in there with his rings and everything. You know what I mean? He got the chain on and all of that. He coming in there. So you brought all your rings from San Francisco to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like you doing too much, Playboy. You know what I mean? But even before that, it's just like I always thought Jerry Rice was a little cocky, a little arrogant. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great. Can't deny his greatness, but the attitude, I always just thought that though, man, for sure. So you talked about word and stuff. Yeah, so some reporters be on one. I've been hearing some reporters sometimes say some crazy stuff. It's like they toe the line, you know what I mean?
On purpose.
Purpose. Because
they're poking.
You poking the bear, you know what I mean? And then when he say something off the handle, oh, you're supposed to be a pro, you're supposed to be a professional, you gotta eat that. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand stuff like that. I really can't stand that, man. You know what I mean? So do they get in trouble for stuff like that, or is it like, oh well?
No, it just slides. Now, I mean, obviously, if it's ultra personal, there will be consequences, but a lot of that just slides.
So who was that? It was somebody that you watch basketball? You on regular? So you remember when they was talking to Joel Embiid and they brought up his brother that passed away? Like, is that something that's cause for disciplinary action?
Yeah, that is something that could be. I mean, I could see that being, hey, we're not gonna have you in the locker room this week or something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I used to always say, man, if I was a player, you know what I'm saying, I'm letting everybody know, look, don't ask me nothing stupid. Don't ask me nothing stupid. You know what I'm saying? If you want to toe the line, ask me something stupid, this is gonna be your last interview. I'm writing names down.
When we're done, if you haven't seen it, when we're done, I want you to Google Hal McRae goes nuts.
What's his name?
It is Hal, Hal McRae.
Hal McRae
goes nuts. You're going to watch that. You're going to be cracking up because he was the exact what you just said. Dumb question. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Just watch it. You're gonna be cracking up.
I'm definitely gonna watch that, man, for sure. Don't do that, because I'm gonna write your name down. I mean, I'm never gonna answer your question again, ever, because you're gonna have to say your name. This is so and so from blah 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 blah. Oh no, I remember you. Nah, next. You ain't getting nothing else from me. That's how I would be. You feel me? Have you ever thought about covering NBA or MLB or other professional sports?
Honestly, baseball is my first love. I'm a huge Mets fan, but no, I haven't thought about covering it because I don't have the same understanding of the game as I do for football. So I wouldn't. I mean, in a whim, like if they needed something, I would be willing to do it, but not as a career or consistently, no.
So you said, that's what I was going to get to. Now you said if they needed something. So does the business go like this? Let's just say they needed something for soccer. You know what I mean? Only people I know in soccer is the ones that's super popular. Messi, you know what I mean? Obviously, when David Beckham used to play, things like that. You know what I mean? The big name guys. I like Real Madrid because I can only tell you, maybe I think his last name is Victovis on Real Madrid, but I know how their team plays. Their team is aggressive. They ain't letting you walk up the field with the ball. They pressing that shit. They pressing it, and yeah, it's like full court press or full field press. You know what I mean? So I like Real Madrid, but I can't tell you a bunch of players or whatever. So you said this is not a field that you always wanted to do. But if they came to you and said, look, TD, we need something on soccer, bro. I need this Real Madrid, blah, 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 blah. Could you cover for a team or for a sport that you don't necessarily like or watch? And if you could, how do you go about covering that team?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that with soccer because that's exactly what I did. So Nashville Soccer Club, they built a stadium called Geoda Stadium here in Nashville, and it's actually the biggest soccer-specific stadium in North America. And when I say North America, that includes Canada, right? So It's a large radius. And the first game ever there was against the Philadelphia. It happened to be against the Philadelphia Union of all teams. And so I did. They asked me to cover that, and I did what I could. I learned a bit about the game, but I did it more of like the atmosphere. Definitely featured some of the high points from the game. Talked to friends that knew what was going on, and that's pretty much how we did the story. And it turns out that they actually they did a print of the story and they framed it, and it's on the wall there in Geoda's Field.
Wow. So do you have to look into the players, know who the top players are, get a little insight on them, or no?
No, it wasn't that extensive, fortunately. It was just, a game where I was able to just, do that one game. I didn't have to do too much extensive research or any writing about everything that the players and everything.
I think that would be very challenging, you know what I'm saying, to do that, especially in a sport that you do not watch. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know all the positions. I know goalie. I know striker.
Yeah.
I know wing. Other than that, that's all I know. And that's because my partner, my co-host on this show, he's a soccer player. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the only reason I could give you those names. You know what I'm saying? So in reporting and in coverage and things like that, although that's not something that you want to do, but you wanted to do forever, I mean, from the beginning, but that's what you do now. What is your end goal? Is it is it to become the biggest reporter for ESPN where you doing breaking news and things like that? How Shams is breaking news or whatever, or Ramona Shelbourne and Adam Schefter. Is it your end goal to get on that level and keep grinding, keep working to be doing what they doing?
No, I don't want to do the national thing. I mean, I already break news now. I've broken multiple stories, but that arena is not something that I really want to do. I would like to eventually transition to more of an analyst role.
Okay.
But ideally, something along those lines. But I really enjoy what I'm doing now. So I guess, it'd just be the best NFL Nation reporter that I could be.
Yeah.
And eventually, like I said, get more on the analysis side of things.
Man, yeah. Everything we're talking about is I love that, bro. The reporting, you know what I mean? The talking about the sport, talking about the team, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? The whole time I'm just sitting here with chills, man, I wanted to do all of that stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't get that opportunity, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, man, it's just sounding great. I'm glad you're in that space, bro. Another black man doing great things, as you mentioned when I the intro, you know what I mean? Just a lot, you know what I'm saying? But that's on you. You're doing great things, though.
I appreciate it.
For sure, man. So, sticking with the NFL, we know what week this is. Super Bowl week, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, obviously what we do know about each other is that, you know, our team is the Philadelphia Eagles. That's who we root for, you feel what I'm saying? And they are in the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 seasons. Second time in 3 seasons. But before I get into that, what is your thoughts on how the media, okay, criticizes and takes shots about our quarterback, Jalen Hurts? Talk to me.
Well, I mean, you're seeing it not only with Jalen Hurts, you're seeing it with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. It's just black quarterbacks, they get over critiqued. It is what it is, and that's just keeping it 100. And I think when you look at a guy like Jalen Hurts, a lot of people overlook the fact that in college he got better every single year as a passer.
Yep.
A lot of people overlook that he played in a pretty advanced passing offense at Oklahoma, you know, and actually got them into the college football playoffs.
Yep.
A lot of people overlook the degree of winning that he did in college. And so to see him go to the Eagles and help lead that franchise to where they've gotten, it's not a surprise. And the shots are always going to be there because he doesn't do it the way that they want him to do it, right? They want it all from the pocket. They want a pure pocket passer. And, hey, if you run every once in a while, that's fine. It's funny, though, because you get the pure pocket passer in Shedeur Sanders, and now the goalposts shift back this way that, oh, he needs to be more of an athlete.
Yes.
That's a different conversation. But I think when you look at Jalen Hurts, yeah, there's warts. I mean, there's some things that he doesn't do well that he struggled with this year. But, I mean, if you look, especially down the field outside the numbers, he does damage. So, for me, he's very capable of winning the Super Bowl. And then not to mention all the stuff you get rushing-wise.
Right. See, the thing is with me, man, they like to measure Jalen Hurts off of how many yards he's throwing. Okay? Me personally, I got this category, right? When I talk about quarterbacks, when I say you got guys like Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, you know, Jordan Love, and players like that, they're quarterbacks. They're quarterbacks, you feel what I'm saying? But you got guys like Josh Allen and you know, Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, you know what I mean? I call those guys ballers, you know what I mean? Because they can go out there and give you 150 yards on the ground, you know what I'm saying, and 150 yards in the air and 50, 60 yards on the ground. And, you know, when in that 150 yards, then probably about 6 or 7 first downs that was very much needed. In those 50, 60 yards, that's 4 or 5 first downs that was very much needed. You feel what I'm saying? People is like, we got Saquon Barkley back here, bro. If the run game is working, we're going to run the football. You feel me?
Yep.
We're going to run the football. And if it's not working, if you want to load the box and stuff like that, guess what? Ask Pittsburgh what we're going to do to him. For 290 yards.
Timely passes. Yeah, exactly.
For 290 yards. Ask Baltimore what we going to do to them. Because remember when we played Baltimore, it was 9-0. The run game was not working. We started with that. You feel what I'm saying? They was the number 1, 2 ranked defense or rushing defense at that time. So the run game wasn't working. So we said, okay, cool. Jalen Hurts, do your thing. 11 of 12, 2 touchdowns. Down 9-0, put us up 14-9. We didn't ever look back after that. You feel what I mean? So it's like anytime they try that narrative got to stop. But if that's what they want to roll with, all right, cool. Cool. But you can't measure Jalen Hurts by how many yards he's throwing and things like that because he's shown you when it's needed, he get it done. When they knock and say, hey, don't. Sure. We need some passing yards. I got you. He step out there and get it done. You feel what I mean? So I don't know. I hate. You know what? It's the wish-washy stuff that messes with my mind, TD. And I'm about to show you something that's wish-washy. Maybe you might know this guy. You might know him. Maybe you don't. Maybe you met him before. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But this guy, I hate this wish-washy stuff. Here it is right here.
Jalen Hurts for his performance last week. And again, I've said it all season. Something about me just doesn't trust these Philadelphia Eagles because of that. Because if somebody can stop saying
a few moments later,
Josh played a pretty mistake-free football game. He only threw for 127 yards, but he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't put it in harm's way. He made plays when he had to. He took what the defense gave him. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that's the better performance, protecting the ball, putting your team in position to win the football game. Did Josh get a little more help from his defense? Of course. His defense made plays.
So, what Jalen Hurts do, that is a problem. But you praise Josh Allen for it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that all the time. I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. I wish that they need to stop that. They need to cut it out, man.
Yeah, and Richard Sherman knows better than that because he won a Super Bowl with a quarterback that, you know, when it was time to throw for 300, 400, he did it. But for the most part, he managed the game, 150 to 250.
Yep.
Mistake-free football, and they won a Super Bowl that way.
Yeah.
So.
And it's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. All right, so obviously we know the Super Bowl is this Sunday. It's this Sunday, you know what I'm saying? And obviously we know the Chiefs, they're there again. They trying to three-peat. They got 3 rings within the past, 4 years. They back-to-back champs. And they trying to three-peat right now. But what we also hear about the Chiefs is how, we feel a lot of people feel like they get favorable calls from the referees, okay? We feel like I know I feel like that way. You feel what I'm saying? But the question is, do you feel that the Kansas City Chiefs get favorable calls from the referees?
Yeah, I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes has gotten some calls. I think the Super Bowl where they beat the Eagles a couple of years ago, I mean, I still think that James Bradbury
Talk to him.
That James Bradbury, I don't know that he really impeded Juju from being able to get a pass that was, to me, look out of range anyway. So, yeah, I mean, there have been times. I don't think that they get help all the time, but I think Mahomes, it's kind of like the Jordan thing, and that's really where it is.
And listen, TD, I hear that. I hear that, TD. It's the Jordan thing. That don't make it right. That don't make it right.
No, not at all. Not at all. It doesn't make it right. But, I mean, yeah, he gets calls without a doubt.
Man, listen, the thing with it, okay, a couple things. You mentioned James Bradbury, you know what I'm saying? No, he did not impede Juju Smith-Schuster, and that ball was well overthrown out of bounds, okay? They know that. Okay? And then you talk about that right tackle, Watson, Jawan Taylor for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Jumping off, yeah.
Yeah. How much longer they gonna let that happen? Because they let it happen all game long. Now I got a question for you, TD. I got a question.
I'm just saying, Big Lane does the same thing.
No, man.
Yeah, Big Lane does the same thing.
TD, man, this. All right,
and look, I love Lane Johnson. That's my guy.
I want to ask you a question, man. This guy is. Stevie Wonder sees it, bro. Stevie sees it. You feel me? I want to know if I'm about to go out here in a race. I'm about to race Usain Bolt. And right before that gun go off, pow, I can get a head start. You can't do that, man. They let this happen all the time. And look, remember the 4th and 1, just in the AFC Championship game. The 4th and 1 on Josh Allen. One referee got first down, the next referee doesn't. Okay? They stopped that from the side. They drew that line. Whoa! That's first down, Tyron. Come on, bro. That's first down. But see, it's little things like that, okay? And then when Pat Mahomes is like, how like what he do is like he dangling food in front of a lion. You know what I mean? As soon as he jump up to get it, or a dog, you snatch it away. That's what he doing when he late sliding. They giving him that penalty for that. You know what I mean? They got to stop that, man. This is the biggest game coming up. They talk about, when in the offseason they're going to have to – man, no, right now. I said it on the show before the conference championship game. I said, listen, they need to start now. These are 2 most pivotal games coming up. If the quarterback, one of these 4 quarterbacks, go out here and do that and they get popped, don't throw the fag. That's the message right there. That's the message. Stop playing around. And he gets away with that. So I definitely feel like they get favorable calls. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it. I know you are too. All the Eagles, everybody's sick of that, man. You can't keep doing that. That ain't right.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, the one that stands out to me is the Bradbury one. I don't think you call that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mahomes is, kind of made a living out of getting some calls, without a doubt.
Okay, so Super Bowl Sunday coming up. If the Eagles win, okay, if the Eagles win, who do you predict will be the Super Bowl MVP?
I mean, it's easy to say Jalen Hurts, so I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to say Saquon.
Okay.
I think if they win, Saquon will run for 150 or something like that, and a couple touchdowns, and he'll be the MVP.
Okay, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn who get Super Bowl MVP.
I just want him to win. Yeah.
I want that thing. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I want. But if answering that question, to me, dog, I think it's going to be Jalen. Here's why, though. Here's why. Because I think Kansas City is going to try to do what everybody else does and load the box the entire game. Because, like I said, everybody's formula is to make Jalen throw the football. You know what I mean? I mean, he's shown he can do it, whatever the case may be. So whatever. But I think them and plus Kansas City for the 18 straight playoff games, they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher. So I think they're going to key in on that. And plus, this is not no typical running back. This is Saquon Barkley. You feel what I'm saying? The man that could have took that record easily if he'd have played the last game. You know what I'm saying? That man. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to key in on that. I think they're going to try to force Jalen to throw the football along with his running ability too. And so maybe it may be one touchdown and one touchdown in the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground, or vice versa. Who knows? He could do 2 and 2. But I think that would be the reason he win. Now, because you're not about to you're going to load the box against the Eagles in that offensive line that we have. You're going to do that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So A.J. Brown and I think, Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert's going to be the X factor to work the intermediate against the linebackers, and he's going to be the X factor. It would not surprise me at all because I think he's leading the playoffs for our team in receiving yards. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to be an X factor. It would not surprise me if he had 6 to 7 catches. It wouldn't surprise me at all. You feel what I mean? But I think Jalen Hurts is going to have to pass that ball. You know what I mean? And I think that would be the reason he get the MVP. Now, like I said, if he don't, I don't give a damn. I don't care. Just don't. I want us to play very, very well and win the game.
Right.
That's all I want. How confident are you on a scale from 1 to 10 that the Eagles win or lose this Super Bowl?
I'd probably say a 6. I mean, it's very hard to go against Patrick Mahomes. He's such a good player. Mm-hmm. And you look at, as long as they have he and Kelsey working, I guess that's dangerous. So, yeah, I'd probably say a 6.
I'm going 7.5. I'm going 7.5, TD, because I feel like this time around we got a better team on both sides of the ball this time around. Last time it was Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. This Saquon. You feel what I'm saying? AJ Devontae still there with Dallas Goedert. And one thing about Jalen, bro, you know what I mean? Jalen don't fold, bro. This dude can't. First of all, you're from a high school coach in Texas. You're a father. You're under that roof. Then you go up under Nick Saban. You feel what I'm saying? And everybody wants to talk about, Tua took his spot at halftime. Jalen Hurts he threw 8 passes that first half. I want to say he had 47 yards on the ground and 21 yards passing. So he threw the ball 8 times, okay? And then Tua came in halftime. I don't think that's take him out worthy, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Tua came in, did his thing. Right. Tua came in and did his thing. Well, the very next year, if I'm not mistaken, Tua was in there too, right? Tua had 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. And they were losing the game. And, he got his ankle hurt. What did Jalen do? They was down. He came back, won the game. You feel what I mean? They don't like to bring that up, though. Jalen's a winner, bro. Only Pat Mahomes has more wins than him over the past, since he's been a starter. You know what I'm saying? Only Pat Mahomes. He wins. How many? 3 10 streak seasons? You know what I'm saying? And don't even get me started on last year when we had Brian Johnson offensive coordinating and Sean Desai, and when they switched to Matt Patricia, that terrible defense that we had. You know what I'm saying? We was 10-1. That's because Jalen was willing us to that stuff. He was willing us, man. You feel what I mean? So they don't like to talk about stuff like that. They like to just speak on the negative things. But I just think we got to – defensively, Jalen Carter's here now. You know what I mean? This is not a upper later in career Fletcher Cox. You feel what I'm saying? It's Jalen Carter. Nolan Smith on the outside. You know what I mean? Josh Sweat is still there as well. And we got, Kenyon Mitchell, the warden out there at Kenyanamo Bay. You know what I'm talking about? D. Slay making plays, Reed Blankenship, CJ, Zach Bond, who's playing some of the best middle linebacker in football this entire season. You feel me? I mean, I'm not, too big on Oren Burks, but he's doing okay. You know what I mean? I think they're going to try to attack him, you know what I'm saying? Because he, as of right now, he is the weakest link on defense right now. You feel me? But I think we just got a better team, you know what I mean, than we had in 2022. Not saying the Chiefs don't, but I think we're better than them, and I don't think we're going to do what we did last time. I think we're going to get this dub. You feel me?
Yeah. Brandon Graham is probably going to come back, too.
He's playing. He been practicing all week. He's playing. He will be out. Mm-hmm. I knew what happened to him. My favorite player of all time in the NFL is Ray Lewis. That's my favorite player of all time. You feel me? I remember when he did something to his triceps in the last year. You know what I'm saying? And he came back. When Brandon Graham did that, I said Ray Lewis came back. I said Brandon Graham is a hard worker. I know he older, but he a hard worker. You know what I mean? He can take a little pain too. He got a little high tolerance, and he don't want to miss this Super Bowl. He coming back. He's playing. I guarantee. I got that strip sack in my brain. TD against Tom Brady back in 2017-18 season. I got that strip sack in my brain. They asked Jalen Carter, how do you stop Pat Mahomes? You sack him. You sack him. You feel what I'm saying? So I just think, I think we're gonna get it done, bro. You know what I mean? I'm the score is the over-under is 48.5. They got the Chiefs favored by 1.5. I'm taking Eagles in the spread, man. Eagles with the spread, bro. You know what I mean? Maybe a high scoring, maybe a high scoring game, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But it could easily be low on their end. And I say that because out of the last 15, 16 games, Eagles only gave up 23 points a game. You feel me? And that defense is real. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, man? Who knows? But before we get up out of here, man, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get up out of here in a second. But before we do that, I want to ask you something. You watch basketball, okay? What was your reaction to that AD Luka trade? That kind of overshadowed the Super Bowl a little bit, you know what I'm saying? What was your reaction to that, man?
Yeah, I didn't understand it on either side. Well, I understand what the Lakers are doing. They get a new nucleus to build around. And obviously Luka is a lot younger than AD, so I get it from a Lakers perspective. What Dallas is doing, I no clue. My first thought was, okay, what happened? Why?
Right. Well, for me, like you said, I get future. All right, cool. But I'm talking about right now, I felt like LeBron. I'm a LeBron guy. I love LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I'm Sixers and I love LeBron. You feel me? Anywhere LeBron go, I'm rooting. He can go to the YMCA league. I'm gonna be rooting for the YMCA league. You feel me? I felt this time that the Lakers were a big man away, like a Vucevic, you know what I'm saying, from doing something special. AD moves from the 5, goes back to the 4. That way, when we do run into Jokic this time, you know what I'm saying, AD ain't got Jokic is huge, bro. He kills AD every time. He can't stop him. And that's not a knock on AD. Jokic is, for one, he's extremely good. You feel what I'm saying? And on top of that, he is huge, bro. He can't stop that guy. So you don't have to expend all your energy on that. You got Vucevic, and then you can come help defense. Just like in 2020 when they had Dwight and AD, Jokic was doing the same thing back then. He was killing boys back then, you know what I mean? But you had a defensive prowess in Dwight, and you had AD coming over to help. He get rid of the ball and make everybody else do what they do, whatever. You feel me? I think you got Max Christie, who worked his way into the starting lineup and was playing well. Did you see him against the Sixers last night? Other night, he had, I think it was 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 from 3, playing defense. His confidence is up. He playing well. They needed that, and I think they're going to miss that. You know what I'm saying? AD, who even if they do get Vucevic, he's not versatile like Anthony Davis. He can't go out 1 through 5. You ain't doing too much pick and rolling. He ain't catching no lobs and stuff like that. That's not his game. You feel me? I know he can shoot. He can stretch the floor and shoot it, but I just think the versatility, you know what I mean, is going to be missed. You feel me? Unless they can make up for it with multiple pieces, because you're going to have to make up for Max Christie on the perimeter and Anthony Davis. You feel me? And I just think for right now, I ain't talking about in 5 years. Right now, I think that was just the absolute wrong move. I feel like you this close to winning. The West is wide open. It's wide open. You can't say, oh, they going to the finals. You can't. You just see what the Lakers.
Sacramento's on the top right now, right? Sacramento?
No, OKC is up top right now. They're at the top.
OKC.
Houston, Memphis, and then Denver, then the Lakers, the Clippers. I think you got, who's at the 7th spot? You got Phoenix down there. Dallas is down there. The Warriors. Sacramento was at the 10th spot. Yeah, man. So like the West is wide open, dog. There's no definitive team that you could say is just going to the finals. And I just think they missed their shot with that this season. Looking forward to the future. This seemed like one of them. Oh, this is L.A. We got to have a star here. LeBron's on the way out. We got to have a super mega star here, man. It's like, come on, bro. Not right now. So I don't know. One more thing. You played football. Can you hoop too?
I play good defense and I can shoot. I mean, now, at 48 years old, I'm not doing any of that.
Right. Okay.
Back then, yeah.
I'm so glad you said what you said. You could play defense and you could shoot. Because I had this debate with my guy Navi, you know what I'm saying, and a couple other guys. And before they talked about it on ESPN and stuff, before it was a big thing, we had this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Not on here. We was on he lived over in Singapore, so we was on the WhatsApp, and we just talk all the time, and we was having this conversation. Who could transition better? Can the NBA players transition better to the NFL, or can the NFL players transition better to the NBA? Yeah,
well, look, a lot of football practices created NBA players, so I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a degree of physicality in football that unless you embrace it, you're not going to be able to. And I've seen, a couple basketball players try to come out and, yeah, man, you got that. I'm good, so. But, I mean, there have been some basketball players, with Jimmy Graham, Antonio Gates, you do have the rare guy that's just really good at both, like Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
Tony Gonzalez, Donovan McNabb, he ran the point at Syracuse. You got some of those, Randy Moss, T.O., those guys are. So I just think there's a physicality in football that I don't know that these basketball players would embrace.
Right. So this is how I break it down, right? This is how I go about it. Along with what you said, physicality, the weather, when it's cold, can you take a hit? You feel what I'm saying? Are you physical? You feel what I'm talking about? Look, I see a lot of videos of guys that's number one, like football players first, but they might hoop in high school, they might hoop in college. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of those videos. I don't see the guys that's playing basketball number one and then going to football and killing out there on the field. I just don't see those videos. You feel what I'm saying?
You get to LeBrons, your Iversons, those types.
Like, it's
Ronald
like,
Curry. Don't forget Ronald Curry.
Ronald Curry.
He was that dude.
And you mentioned Bubba Chuck. He was a dog in football. You feel me? He said he would be a better football player than basketball. You feel me? And I think so too, because he 5'11", 6 foot. You know what I'm saying? If Ivo was 6'4", 6'5", oh my God. You feel me? But he's smaller. Yeah. He could have been a great NFL player, you ask me. But I'm like, okay, look. My guy, he always say, oh, y'all can't shoot. Football players, y'all can't shoot, bro. I'm like, bro, listen. Draymond Green can't shoot. Dennis Rodman can't shoot. But guess what? We can go out there and play hella defense out there. I promise you that. You know why? Because we can move them feet. We can open up them hips, and we can run. You understand what I'm saying? I promise you, a corner, a safety, a corner, middle linebackers, and D-ends can all go out there and play some defense out there on the field, in the court, rebound, run the floor, and all of that. Don't tell me you could go out there. First of all, as a basketball player, I can name all the positions is out for you except for wide receiver. You're not blocking at all on the offensive line. You're not playing linebacker because your screws ain't loose. You ain't got that. You're not playing corner. So Jamar Chase lineup out there, what you doing? No, you're not doing that. And I'm not talking about, you got to give me a year to transfer. No. I'm right now. I'm not talking about you got a year to work. No. Right now. Can you go do it? No, you can't. In high school, the basketball coaches, they hollering at the football players to come play football, to play basketball, to play defense, full court press. I ain't never seen no football coach go to the basketball coach and say, yo, we need some of these guys out here. Never. I don't see the physicality, none of that stuff, bro. So when they do that, I'll be like, nah, y'all tripping. I know you love basketball. I know you want to protect your sport. But let's keep it 100. You cannot make an open field tackle on Lamar Jackson. You cannot meet, you know what I'm saying, Derrick Henry in the hole. You can't. And you're not about to run over Roquan Smith or Zach Bond. You're not, bro. So stop. And if it's cold outside, don't even get me started. Every time I go outside, TD, and then when it was freezing, I'll be like, basketball player, no, bro. No. You're not taking no hits out here, dog. So I wish they just fess up and just say and just tell the truth. But I get they got to protect their sport. That's cool. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all.
Yeah. So, what you got playing? What you got going for the Super Bowl, man? You going out there? You going?
No, I'll be doing Sirius Radio from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m.
That day.
So, yeah, I'll be in the studio doing that.
But you had a TV on though.
Oh yeah, I'm at the TV because we're going to be talking about the game and pregame stuff. So we'll probably have some people from the field, reporters or whatever, analysts. We'll get the rundown at some point soon. But yeah, doing radio that night.
Okay. So is it like play by play? It's like that?
No, it's ESPN Radio.
Got you.
Just talking shop.
They feeding y'all for the Super Bowl since y'all there on Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm not going to be in New Orleans. I'm going to be right at the studio here in Nashville. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Are they going to do something like, well, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so we're going to feed y'all while y'all here from 6 to 10 watching the game? Do they do things like that?
Oh no, it's just I'm going to be in the studio by myself. I connect to. I'm not sure where the other guy's going to be, but we connect to Bristol and we do the show.
Okay.
So it's nothing fancy or anything like that. It's just you go to the studio, you handle your business. You want some food, you bring it.
Right. Well, I'm hoping for a Super Bowl dub. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that's talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? You think it's going to be a high-scoring game? Is it going over? It's 48.
No, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Two explosive teams, man. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you for coming on, dog, once again. Thank you for being so down to earth. Thank you for responding. Hopefully, this ain't the last time we got you on here, man. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. I know I did. You know what I'm saying? I got your number. You got mine. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Looking forward to having you on here again, dog. Make sure you enjoy your weekend. You know what I'm saying? Fly, Eagles, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. You understand? So once again, for the viewers right now, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so y'all can be up to date with all things under the lights. I'm your host, Big Mike. That's Turron Davenport. That's our show for the day, and we gone.
Under the lights, speaking of facts, double the price, yeah.